let's see, a few things going through my head. I mean, we got to take our team to the Hall of Fame, which was pretty cool. First time we've been able to do that. But just seeing the history of our program, getting to see some of the names up on the wall, getting to see someone like Sandy Stevens and Cole and Smith. Cool for our guys. Getting to see some of our guys wrestle in national tournaments. Getting to see Millboy, even though he lost in the finals. But just getting to see that and get to see our incredible history of our program, and then talking to the guys about adding to that history, being proud of the history and how they're representing the program, but also, hey, let's start adding to that. So going into the meet, there's no moral, or I don't say there's no. I mean, victories are victories, and when you get an opportunity, you got to really seize those opportunities. And I liked what Elber said after the meet. He talking to our young guys about that. Don't be okay with just being close. Don't be okay with that. It's time to push yourself over the edge, and we can beat teams like that. When you have them on the edge, you got to be able to push them over the edge, and that's really what we're going to work to do through the rest of the season is push those teams, push those best guys over the edge. I thought that there was some really good performances. I think it was an exciting meet. There was a lot of action. I think matches that people hopefully that watch were like, man, you know what? I really enjoyed watching those guys, how they competed. Even though we didn't win the meet, at least you come away and you're like, you know what? I like how that team scrapped up and down the lineup. Not just one guy or two guys, but all 10 guys. Even in some matches that we lost, I thought that we gave ourselves some opportunities. We tried to put those guys in situations where we were compromising their position and giving ourselves a chance to win. So, there's a lot more there, though, for our team. I mean, our best wrestling is to come. I have no doubt about that. I feel like a guy like Max Thompson's just starting to hit his stride. I feel like a guy like Schwarm's just starting to hit his stride, and really up and down the lineup. And that, and getting our mind and body sharp. We only have two duels left, so we're winding down to the season. But this is when we're going to be our sharpest. Kind of talking about sharpening our knives. And you sharpen a knife with friction. You sharpen a knife with some adversity. You sharpen a knife with this mind being so sharp and on point that you know where to point it, how to point it, and you can direct it in the way that we want. And that's what we're working on doing every day. And guys have put a lot of work in, a lot of work in, a lot of focused work. And now it's, you get to those points in times, you get those time of the year where it's time to reap some of those rewards and benefits. But the big thing for us is not pressing. I think you start pressing that I got to win this match, I got to do this, I got to do that. No, we got to continue to do what we're doing, and that's continue to train while we're training. I think just the focus and intensity goes up a little bit, and things get magnified a little bit right now at this time of the season. It's a fun time of year though, man. This is championship season. You start seeing sectionals and districts and state tournaments and national tournaments and this is a holiday for me as a coach. This gets to be kind of like a holiday. I mean, this is such an incredible time of year because guys are going to get an opportunity to live some of their dreams out, and that's, I guess, what our team plans on doing up and down the lineup. I'll go into the meat a little bit. 25. I figured out probably a way not to get on the side of the referees to challenge a call 15 seconds into a meet. So probably won't do that next time. But I thought that he held him there for 3 seconds, and that's a big situation, for Schwarm to be able to get on top right away. So challenged it, didn't happen. You put that guy in some almost tough positions. Dude, that guy's having a really good year right now, undefeated, and he's beat pretty much everyone handily. But the thing I'll say about Schwarm, and I said it before, he's only getting better. I think he's getting stronger, and that's kind of the big thing that I think maybe he lacked a little bit earlier in the year. Some of that horsepower that he had last year, he's getting that back. And when you have an injury in the offseason, it takes a little bit longer than maybe you wanted to round back to where you want to. But he's getting there. 33. Hit an unbelievable attack and really actually had 3 really, really good attacks against that guy. That guy's hard to get to his legs. Finished one. The other 2, he was in deep. So he gave himself some opportunities. Got to be able to get off bottom. 41, found a way again. The thing I like about Elber he went for a big move early, and you know what? I love that he's willing to risk that. A lot of guys won't take a chance in those situations. They just, I'm going to hold it really tight to the vest. But he thought he had a position tight, and he went for it and ended up giving him a score there. But got to escape back, and got to take down at the end of the match. And he had 4 or 5 attacks before he finally got to one. And great job by him. Max just keep wrestling. Thought he wrestled a great match until the last 20 seconds. And you kind of saw this come where we call it alligator arms a little bit. If those alligator arms come back, then he's trying to hold off. He's just got to go back to his default. Needs to be attack, like he did really the whole match up until that point. And then you go get it in overtime. But Max is in a good place. I like how he's competing. He's starting to round into where you're like, man, this guy's man, he's getting there. He's getting there, even though it's a loss. And I know some people are, well, he just lost a match. I don't care, man. Sometimes a loss now is a win later, just depending on how you take it, and how he's taking it is the right way. And if anything, I think he's more encouraged and understands where he's at, how close he is. Just, man, sometimes you can't let off the gas. I mean, keep on that gas pedal. Keep on the gas pedal. That's all we talked about all year. Keep on the gas pedal. And he's got to stay on it. He stays on it, then he can win that weight class. 57. Just get taken down right away, and then you get ridden. Makes it really hard. Got to be able to create some offense, and he's going to get better every time out. 65, got to be able to get off the bottom. We talked about it. Thing came out road. I mean, he's riding guys hard, wrestling well. Lujan, it's a really good win for him. Really, really good win. Joe's a good wrestler. A couple-time All-American. We had 2 guys beat two-time All-Americans, which is good. The thing that he did is always he stayed disciplined throughout that match. Stayed disciplined with his elbows, so if there's a game plan, he can go out and execute it. And he went out and executed. He took space really well. He hand fought really well, and then was able to convert a takedown late in that match. So great job by Lujan. Big win for him to continue to build. Foster just got a little panicked, I think. Hit a couple longer attacks and he was all over that guy. You just got to convert a few. The guy was able to kick out a few positions, which one position, one score here is different in the match. But I'll give that kid some credit, man. He's hard to score on. Incredibly athletic and dangerous in a lot of situations, but Foster just get a little bit closer on his attacks. 97, I thought Terrell is great coming out and going and getting an attack right away, putting the guy down. Got to be able to get off the bottom. And that's, a freshman as a freshman. It's hard, man. I can tell you I've been there. I've been there trying to get off the bottom. And it's, a lot of times it's right here. There's some technical things with him, but the thing was you saw him put a good guy down. And then you saw him be in that match. And then late in the match, he really put some heat on him and was able to get to his leg again. Just got to be able to do that a little bit earlier. But the growth is happening. And I'm going to continue to hammer. And I know I've said it before, but this is about growth. This is about improving. This is about getting better. This is using this opportunities to continue to learn from and be better when he gets to the Big 12 tournament. It's a deep weight class in the Big 12, and then heavyweight went out and competed. There was probably 2 instances in this. Maybe we gave an easy score maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the whole duel, and that was one thing we talked about is wrestling with courage and hustle and fight and for 420 seconds. And in a lot of those matches we had to wrestle 420 seconds to win the match. And there's a few of them that we didn't wrestle quite 420 seconds, and you know what, they found a way to win those matches. So it's going to continue to be figuring out a way to wrestle every second of that match and taking advantage of each opportunity that we have. And then if you don't take advantage of it, then go give yourself another opportunity. But like where our team's at, certainly would like to come away from that duel with a victory instead of, dang, we're close, because it's time to push yourself over that edge. It's time to knock the wall down. It's just time. It's just time. Time's running, and there's no need for these guys to wait anymore. And that's kind of what they talked about a little bit, and as a team they're talking about, and that's what I want to hear, and that's great. And they're not just here, but that's how they're going to go out and compete. We get to go to Utah Valley on Saturday. They have a good team. I don't know. I know that they just wrestled 3 duels in the Midwest. They didn't have a whole lot of their starters in. I don't know if they're going to have their starters. You plan on competing against their best team. If they don't, then they don't. But I know they have a good 41 pounder that's in top 10 rankings, 65s in the top 10 rankings, 74s in top 12, 15, 97 heavyweight. But I watched those duels this weekend, and they didn't wrestle many of those guys. So I don't know if injuries, whatever it is. I know that we'll be ready to compete out there, and that's really all we can do. We can show up. We can just show up and wrestle who they send out there. So I expect them to have their best team. If they don't, then I know we'll have our team out there and ready to go. Nothing? That's pretty good. I'm getting pretty dang efficient then. I'm thorough, efficient, on top of things, yeah. And then, let's see, I don't think we have them next week. We have off, and then Iowa State at home on a Thursday night. So look forward to that. But, all right.